Hello, I'm Dow Bartling, and I certainly hope that you and yours are enjoying in every way a sunnier, warmer day. Well, the older I am, the more that I think. And I got to thinking that, you know, as I look in life's past over these 70 plus years, I kind of followed a certain trend or habit. And it really didn't change much. Let me give you an example. How about your heroes, both fictional and actual? In my early life, some of my fictional heroes were such as Cisco Kid. Remember Cisco Kid? Cisco Kid, and he had a sidekick always with him named Pancho. And Cisco Kid and Pancho would seem to come in and save the day. And Cisco Kid, of course, has his painted pony. Pancho has palomino, and man, the regalia, the clothes that they wore there. Cisco Kid and Pancho. In fact, I remember in the 60s, there was a song put out by a group called War. And there was, Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Then Walt Disney came out with Zorro, the masked man. Zorro, and how he could save the day. Zorro, and man, what a swordsman he was. In fact, in the fall, this time of the year, as a kid, I would dress up and have the regalia that actually my mother Doris would made for me. She handmade for me an outfit so I could be Zorro. And then, even in the cartoon world, it seemed like I favored and liked, anytime I could watch him, Speedy Gonzales. Speedy Gonzales. So, even in the fictional world, was there kind of a trend there? Maybe so. They seem to all be characters of color, you see, which was kind of maybe different. It was hard to pick out those particular heroes from the rest of the world that I was growing up in. But even on the life side, on the sports side, for example, Roberto Duran, the boxer, the little boxer, wasn't much bigger than I was, but he was a world champion. Indeed, he was. But Roberto Duran was from Panama City, and he was in the neighborhood of Churrillo, very poor and criminal-infested neighborhood. But yet, Roberto Duran overcome that. As I said, Roberto Duran, his father was an American. He did not know who his father was. I do not know who an American father is, my natural American father. Roberto Duran, when he got married, he is still married to the same wife. Yes, he is. All those years. Some commonality there, maybe. Roberto Duran, a man with hands of stone. Would love to meet him someday. Then in the baseball world, there was Rod Carew. Rod Carew from, Panama City, over by Gutan, over by Colon, kind of where I was born. There is where Rod Carew was from. And Rod Carew then played for the Minnesota Twins and the Los Angeles Angels. Rod Carew is today in the Hall of Fame of baseball. Rod Carew played second base and first base. I played center field and first base. Nice hero to have, Rod Carew. And then recently we have Mariano Rivera for the Yankees. He was a relief pitcher. He's now retired. No doubt will be in the Hall of Fame. So the trend maybe being, as you could see, was these were then characters, men of color. There was another man of color that became a hero later in my life, and I was very, very fortunate to meet him. Have you met one of your heroes? I think it's kind of great, folks. You see, it started back in 1964. In 1964, in Tokyo, Japan, the Olympics were going on. And of course, one of the favorites, and that would actually be televised all over the world, particularly the USA, was track and field. And it was being shown on Wide World of Sports. I said we would watch. You see, my adoptive father, Sergeant Major Bartling, he was under the VA program classified as 100% disabled when he retired. He couldn't walk very far. So I always made a point, regardless, hunting, working, whatever, tried to, on Saturday afternoon, to make it there where I could watch then the Wide World of Sports with him and Jim McKay talking. Well, they were televising the track and field of the 1964 Olympics. And one of the events there was the 10,000 meter. Now, the USA has never placed in the 10,000 meter. It seemed to be maybe the Australians or the Africans that seemed to dominate that particular distance there. But there was one entry there. One of the athletes from USA was a young man there. And at that time, kind of the more that I heard about him, as they talked about his bio a little bit, the more that I start to maybe identify with him, have something in common. You see, this young man grew up part of his life on an Indian reservation. And in growing there, it was a poor community, and he was kind of ridiculed at times. And sometimes on some of his favorite sports that he wanted to do, he wouldn't get to play because the color of his skin. And so he wasn't able to then participate. I had that personally happen to me in my much younger part of my life, where I was on the Indian reservation. I was wanting to play a particular sport that I loved, that of baseball, and wasn't able to join that particular team. Only reason being, not because of my play or lack of play, only reason was the color of my skin. Did it hurt? Sure it did. Overcome the obstacle? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. As did this particular athlete. And then later, he then started to run track and field. And he was then sent to, when it come time high school age, for him then to go to a high school in Haskell, Kansas. But before that, at the age of 8, he lost his mother. And it was very devastating, as you can imagine, to lose your mother at the age of 8. His father was there and tried to then take care of him as best he could with his aunties and grandmother helping there on this Indian reservation. Oh, by the way, that Indian reservation isn't very far from here. It's only about an hour, maybe hour and a half away. Pine Ridge, South Dakota. Well, down there, his father one day, when he was about 12 years old, took him bullhead fishing in a pond. If you know bullheads, man, they are fighters, and when they kind of grab that hook, they almost swallow that hook. But they're little fighters. You got to catch a lot of them, but they're very good eating bullheads. Well, as they were walking to the pond, all of a sudden, his father stopped. You see, he had picked up a willow stick, and with that willow stick, he drew a circle. And he asked his son to step into that circle. He said, you see that circle of life? Right now, you have broken wings. And it's understandable. Those broken wings are because of things that's happened to you on the life's path that you've been walking down. In order to heal those broken wings in the circle of life, you need to have a dream. And then realize that that dream can be attained by you. And you'll need to, with the help of others, then move towards your dream. Every day, moving towards your dream. Then your wings will be healed. And with those wings, you can be a spirit chaser. That story never left that young man. And as he went to high school down there at Haskell, Kansas, and I found that interesting. When I was at the Indian Reservation in Macy, Nebraska, the Omaha Indian Reservation, if you didn't behave yourself, they would say, we're going to send you to Flandreau, South Dakota, or we're going to send you to Kansas, Haskell, Kansas. And I knew of kids, my own classmates, that they were there one day and the next day they were off to those two places. Well, this young man, when he went to Haskell, he made something of himself. He started to run track and field. So much so that he earned a scholarship at the University of Kansas. But yet he was still ridiculed because of the color of his skin. But yet he overcome those obstacles, being that spirit chaser. Well, now we're at the U.S. Olympics. And here we have the young man by the name of Billy Mills. Billy Mills from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, an hour and a half from me, was running the 10,000 meter race at the 1964 Olympics. And there I was, glued to the TV with Sergeant Major Bartling, and we're watching that race. And all the way through, Billy Mills was way back there. And then he got a little closer and a little closer. And folks, I want to say within 20 yards of the finish line, then we started to see Billy Mills on the screen. And he came in first. 1964, 10,000 meters, Billy Mills crossed the finish line, getting the gold medal. Now fast forward to 2001. 2001, I'm at a convention in Rapid City, South Dakota, and who is one of the keynote speakers? In my mind, the keynote speaker, Billy Mills. I got to meet Billy Mills. And I got to listen to him and how he told that story of the circle of life and how his father then acknowledged that at that time he had the broken wings and how he had to have a dream. And in pursuing that dream and then getting that dream, it would then heal his wings and he could be a spirit chaser. And upon doing that, he needed to give away. He needed to give himself away to help others. And Billy has done that. He has formed a foundation called Running Strong. And you will see him at various different reservations where maybe they'll have track and field and things like that. And he has scholarships all over. Quite a hero to have. So, how old are you? How many habits and trends have you had in life's path? Can you reflect upon them? And can you kind of identify a certain kernel of truth that seems to be following you or you following it all the way through? Something to think about. Because you know why. Well, I hope you know why. Because we're in this together. And I'm rooting for you. Don't forget, blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. Take care and enjoy that sunnier, warmer day.